Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll off 'em. Op 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll off 'em. Op 'em.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte. He had things to say about the bronze bomber Deontay Wilder, and we're going to take a look at them. So this appears courtesy of Boxing News 24/7. Whyte lays into Wilder. He is the biggest fraud in all of sports. That's what Dillian Whyte had to say. Dillian Whyte has never had much time for Deontay Wilder. And the long-time WBC heavyweight mandatory challenger who never did get a shot at the WBC belt while Wilder held it, sure isn't about to start giving Wilder any credit now. Far from it. Speaking with Sportsmail, Whyte, who will face unbeaten U.S. heavyweight Jermaine Franklin on November 26th. This is his first fight back after being dispatched by Tyson Fury in April, called Wilder the biggest fraud in all of sport. Whyte was, he says, offended by the fake tears Wilder shed at the post-fight press conference that followed his chilling knockout of Robert Helenius. An emotional Wilder was overcome when he spoke of the dangers of his chosen sport, with the former champ referring to the sad plight of fighter Pritchard Colon. But some people were pretty swift to point out how Wilder, back in 2018, had spoken of wanting a body on his record. I want a body on my record. I want one. Wilder told the Breakfast Club back in 2018. Wilder was heavily criticized back then, and rightfully so. But is Wilder a changed man these days? The emotion he displayed at the Helenius presser sure makes some people think so, but not Whyte, who insists it's all an act. This guy's an actor, Whyte told Sportsmail. Everything he does is an act, even fake crying at the press conference the other day. I was just like, you just make me sick, you piece of ish. I heard that Wilder still doesn't want to fight me. He is the biggest fraud in all of sport, never mind boxing. Who doesn't fight his number one contender for 4 years and then claims he is the greatest of all time? He hasn't actually beaten anyone of note yet. He is just a cowardly con man. That's what Dillian Whyte had to say about Deontay Wilder. G, I'm going to turn it over to you since he's talking about your guy, man. What's your reaction to what Dillian Whyte had to say?
I mean,
get the strap.
Even if Wilder says, you know what, I want to fight Whyte next, Wilder's gonna get clowned because nobody wants to see Whyte, step in the ring with nobody real, because he has a chin made out of paper planes, bro. Like, come on, son, this dude's gonna get violated by Wilder, so nobody wants to see that. So it's like, yeah, it's easy to talk trash. And then the thing about Whyte is, I could have sworn he said the very same thing about AJ. You know, he called AJ a fraud, and that's when he like exposed AJ about I let him borrow pants and weirdo stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, bro, this is just typical Dillian Whyte gimmicks, where it's like, he's just gonna call you out, he's gonna call you a fraud till he gets a fight. You know what I mean? He gets beat up and then he goes into silent treatment for like the next couple of months. So I don't know and not to mention, this is, to me, if I was Wilder, right, I would either give you the fight because I really want to catch a body, or I would just ignore you because I'm like, I would never put money in your pocket, because he was the dude that was spreading those rumors about, Big Former Miller, being the real father of Wilder's daughter or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this guy, Dillian Whyte, man, he's messy. He talks a lot of trash. He disrespects, Wilder's family. He disrespected Wilder's wife. So to me, I wouldn't entertain fighting the guy unless I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me put this dude in the dirt for real, like literally, So, and Wilder, to me, he kind of almost has nothing to lose, right? Oh, well, he does still have a lot to lose, but like me personally, I would pay to see that fight, only because I want Wilder to get his get back. But I can understand that people are like, yo, we don't want to see that. Like, why is Wilder beating up a guy who's a has-been? You know what I mean? And no disrespect to Dillian Whyte, but he's endured too many knockouts, bro. Like, I think his dreams of being like a champion and beating the top 5, I don't think it's happening. Like, I don't think Dillian can touch any of the top 5. He could barely do damage in the top 10, So I don't know. It's easy for him to be in the sidelines talking trash about Wilder, but your last few showings, we just see you in knockouts. Even old head Povetkin even got a knockout on you before you beat him. So I don't know, man. It's like I don't think he has the right to even talk about Wilder. But where I will agree with Dillian Whyte, I must say, when Wilder was crying, I even my conspiracy G hat was like, Wilder, that don't sound like a legit cry, you know what I mean? Unless Wilder's just a horrible crier. Like, there's certain people when they be in tears, they just sound just nasty. That's how he sounded. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, bro, did you practice this in the mirror? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I like to believe that Wilder was sincere with his tears. But I do agree with Whyte. It seems a little funny. Like it's like a complete 180. Now you can say his growth is this, that, that, whatever. But the reality is that cry was horrendous. So if Whyte thinks he was acting, I could respect that, But Whyte calling him the biggest fraud, that doesn't mean anything with Dillian. Dillian calls everybody a fraud, and he just finds a way to have his name in rotation among the top 10 heavyweights. But I'm being honest, we need to probably redo that list, like our top 10 heavyweights, because I don't know if Dillian Whyte would be on my list right now, man, to be 100% frank with y'all. So shout out to Whyte for hating. I do hope Wilder takes that fight so he could take you off the planet. It's just like, to me, and I don't think Wilder owes him the fight. It's just like how I feel like, Haney doesn't owe Lomachenko the fight. But the fans want to see it. I don't know if fans want to see Whyte versus Wilder. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see guillotine style. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see Wilder put him in the dirt, flatline him in the ring, and then we could all be like, all right, all of that trash talk that we've endured for years. Like, this has been years in the making. Remember, we had the whole Poor Dillian campaign over here. You know what I mean? Like, we could finally officially put that on his tombstone. Poor Dillian. Whenever he was born to 2000, well, let's say they fought in 2023. Voila. You know what I mean? Because he's a clown, man.
All right. $1 bill.
Whyte calls Wilder the biggest fraud in sports. All right. Listen, I'm a rock with you, G. Look, I think that they can sell out in the UK. Mm-hmm. I think that this is still a huge, big fight. I think with all the bad blood, and hey, look, but they both in their losses, they both just got stopped by Tyson Fury. So what? It's Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? I don't even, when people say, oh, Floyd beat Canelo, I don't even mention that. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. They both lost to the great Tyson Fury. Got nothing to be ashamed of. Let them two go in there. Their fights, which I got nothing to do with their fights with each other. It's show and prove time. Like Dillian Whyte said, he's been wanting this fight for a while. He was supposed to fight him for 4 years, and they didn't get it on. Let's get it on. There's still interest in that fight, I believe. DW versus DW. Let's get it on. The bad blood itself will sell that fight. The press conference, when people see that energy, how they really don't like each other. This could be a really, really big, big fight. And if he can get past Franklin, that's who he's fighting next. If he can get past that gentleman, I think that they should try to make that fight. That's a huge fight to make. Because these guys are going to be tied up over here trying to make undisputed or whatever it is they're trying to make. So while they're trying to make that happen, you and Dillian can get it on, and all the questions could be put to bed. You know, Dillian Whyte. You know, a lot of people feel a way about Deontay Wilder's performance at the press conference. You know, people like to say it was an act. Some people, we don't know, but a lot of people felt that way. Even Tyson Fury said he's a dosser. You know what I'm saying? You know, look, the only way to prove is why not like settle your differences in the ring and make a huge bag, right? Seems like a win-win to me. You get to handle your business and get a bag at the same B&B. Handle business and get a bag at the same time. You know, so why not? I think this will be a huge fight. If Whyte can get past Franklin, then I think DW versus DW should be looked at, because I think that could be a huge fight that everybody thinks of and exciting too. And if Wilder wants to go over there in the UK and even make some claim, because then he can, because I think the fight with him and AJ will still be a big fight.
Yeah, that's true.
So why not go over there and, you know, let the people, you know, rub shoulders with the people? Two birds in one stone. You can go over there and put them paws on Dillian Whyte and promote yourself to the UK people for the Joshua fight.
Yeah, is Dillian Whyte still signed to Eddie?
Yeah, I believe that he's still.
That'd be great, because then, you know, maybe Wilder could lock in a 2-fight deal. Dillian Whyte and AJ.
150 million.
Nah, more money, man. Forget all of that. If we gonna do that,
I'm just
watch yourself in Dubai. Or we going to Dubai, you know what I'm saying?
Oh man, but yeah, that's just my take on it. You gotta stay out of Dubai.
No facts, you know what I mean? Next time, man, you ever holler at a shorty, be like, you know what? I need to see your passport. If you see Dubai a couple of times, check, please. You know
did you pay or did you get paid?
Did somebody fly you out?
Did you fly or did you get flown out? Look, man. Here's the thing. Now, I always say this: you can talk as long as you can back it up, right? Yeah, I was riding with Dillian Whyte for a lot of what he was saying, because I do feel like he deserved his shot at Deontay Wilder. I feel like he earned it. At one point, his resume was second best in the heavyweight division, and I feel like he deserved a shot at Wilder. But then he got knocked out by Povetkin, had the rematch, and he beat Povetkin. He didn't get a shot at Deontay Wilder, but he got a shot at Tyson Fury. And when he fought Tyson Fury, he got knocked out in the 6th round with a beautiful one-punch uppercut. For me, there's no shame in losing to Tyson Fury, like Trill said. But here's where my issue comes in. You can't call Deontay Wilder the biggest fraud in sport when that guy who knocked you out with one punch fought Deontay Wilder 3 times. And in each fight, 3, which is a larger sample size than your 1, he did better than you every single time.
Exactly.
Every single time Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury, he did better than you, Dillian. He did better than you. And that's just me comparing both of you losing to the same guy. He did better than you. The first fight, he dropped Fury twice. Now, we know Fury lost over 150 pounds, was coming back from depression and abusing his body, using drugs, and it was his 3rd fight in 9 months. We know all that, but still, Wilder dropped him twice, and it was a draw. And I believe, me personally, I scored the fight for Tyson Fury. I thought Tyson Fury won the first fight. But there is an argument based on the 2 knockdowns that Wilder could have gotten a draw. I gave it to Fury about 1 point, and I gave Wilder the 1st round. So if someone else gave Wilder another round during that fight, it's a draw. So a draw isn't really a robbery. That's why even Tyson Fury didn't really complain. He's like, I thought I won, but I thought Fury won too. But he got a draw with Fury. You said that he hasn't beaten anyone of note. That's cool. He didn't beat anyone of note, but he drawed with someone of note, the same person who knocked you out with one punch. Second fight, Fury stops Wilder in the 7th. He did you in the 6th, and he knocked you out with one punch. Wilder was standing up in the corner. He did have the look. He did have his eyes was big, and Fury was about to take it to him, but Wilder was still standing, and his corner threw in the towel. So we'll never know how that fight would have ended had Mark Brilliant not thrown in the towel, but he still did better than you to that point. I was one round in the second fight where Wilder landed like 3 right hands. I think it may have been the second round. Wilder landed. I don't even remember Dillian landing like that on Tyson Fury.
That's what I'm saying.
In the second fight, Wilder at least landed right hands, and Fury took him, and Fury took him out. In the third fight, was probably shockingly more thrilling than the first 2 fights. Both men hit the canvas multiple times. And Wilder did better than you. So how can you call this man a fraud? Like, yo, he actually put hands on the dude who knocked you out with one punch. And that was your first title shot. Wilder has 10 title defenses to his name. Now, in the past, I said, well, how good is Luis Ortiz? Right? Luis Ortiz actually gave Andy Ruiz a really tough fight. That's another former heavyweight champion of the world, guy who beat Anthony Joshua. Luis Ortiz gave him a tough fight. And Deontay Wilder beat Luis Ortiz twice. And Dillian, just in case you missed how he beat Luis Ortiz that first fight, you may want to rewind it. He knocked Luis Ortiz out with a right uppercut. For those of you who missed it, watch the first fight again. Don't even watch the first fight. Just go to when he knocks out Luis Ortiz. He knocks him out with a right uppercut. So for everyone saying Wilder can't throw a right uppercut, yes, he can. And he knocks someone out with it, Luis Ortiz. Then he knocked Luis Ortiz out again. So that victory looks a lot better now. When you look at what Luis Ortiz was able to do with Andy Ruiz, the guy who beat Anthony Joshua. So I feel like Dillian Whyte, you fight Luis Ortiz. Let's see how you do. I think that's a pick'em fight. I honestly think Luis Ortiz might win that fight now. You versus Deontay Wilder, I would love to see that fight. But unfortunately, they're bigger fish to fry. You got Eddie Hearn saying that Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder is still the biggest fight in boxing. Deontay Wilder said it himself. So if they got to make a fight, they're not trying to make Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte. So you're saying like, yeah, I heard he doesn't even want to fight me. Yeah, that's true. But what's the reason? The reason isn't that he's afraid of you. The reason is there's more money out there than you. You understand? So like, again, you can't make it seem like he's scared of you. And then even when he overlooked you, and this is what I don't get. Like I'm very much a keep the same energy guy. When Deontay Wilder avoided Dillian Whyte, it was to fight Tyson Fury one time, to give Tyson Fury a voluntary. Tyson Fury's a better fighter than Dillian Whyte. So to me, that's not a duck. Just like when Vasily Lomachenko didn't want to fight Devin so he could fight Teofimo Lopez, I held that same energy. I said, to me, that's not a duck. You avoided one hard fight to take another hard fight. I didn't view it as a duck. I don't view what Deontay Wilder did as a duck. I do think he felt good about Tyson Fury the first time because of all those other things, but Tyson Fury is still a better fighter than Dillian Whyte. So with all that being said, man, I think to call him the biggest fraud in all of sport is a bit of a stretch. If he thinks Wilder was faking the tears, that's his opinion. Respect to him. He can have his own opinion. But to say he's the biggest fraud in all of sport, like, come on now. You were in the ring with Fury. He was in the ring with Fury. Every single fight he had with Fury, he did better than you. That's not a fraud, bro. Just saying.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.